appears unprepared, and as CBS's Ray Brady reports, unrealistic. Ray?
Yes, Dan, maybe it's that big bull market on Wall Street, but many Americans seem to feel that when it's time to retire, stocks will bail them out.
And if the market keeps going up, I'm okay. If it takes a dive, I'm in trouble.
The fact is, a new survey sponsored by the American Association of Retired Persons shows many people don't even know how much they'll need to retire. And, says analyst Sarah Zapolsky,
the fact that many of them are afraid of the answer. They are reluctant to spend the time.
This may be what's scaring them. Even $100,000 invested in an annuity will return less than $11,000 a year. That's roughly the poverty level for a family of two. The survey also reveals a deep generational gap. Less than half of those over 52 feel their savings will finance their retirement. In fact, fewer than 1 in 5 have $10,000 or less saved for that. They're counting on Social Security.
I'm sure that the time comes when there will be something to be done about the Social Security. The Congress sure will do it.
But among Generation Xers under 32 years of age, some have saved $50,000 already. As for Social Security, 62% of them say, start saving money now.
I'm not relying on security. I don't think it's going to be around, so you have to be a little smarter now. Invest in your own.
That may be, but when the survey asked, should we cut Social Security payments or take more out of your check? No matter what their age was, 62% said don't cut payments, take more out of the check. Dan?
Thanks, Ray. An escalation today in a U.S. trade dispute with Japan. The U.S. ordered a ban on Japanese cargo ships coming into U.S. ports, but did not immediately enforce it. This ban was declared after Japanese shipping companies refused to pay $4 million in fines imposed by the U.S. in an argument over access to Japanese ports. President Clinton, traveling in Argentina, approved the move against Japan. The First Lady, Hillary Clinton, made headlines of her own in Argentina today, a passionate speech in that overwhelmingly Roman Catholic country, speaking out for birth control and the rights of women. CBS News White House correspondent Scott Pelley is on the scene in Argentina.
In the old Opera House, the First Lady of the United States said what politicians do not say in Argentina. Listen to the reaction to her message of contraceptive freedom among people 90% Catholic in a nation where abortion is illegal.
Access to quality health care, especially family planning and reproductive health services, is also crucial to advancing the rights of women.
She recalled a visit to a Brazilian hospital and family planning clinic.
The result of a program like was that rates of maternal mortality and, importantly, rates of abortion decreased because women received the health care they needed in a time. For the first time, poor women receive the same health services that rich women have always been able to receive for themselves.
Mrs. Clinton has delivered straight talk before, a tough human rights speech in China, for example. A First Lady often has more freedom to speak than her husband. And her friends say there will be more of this as she reaches a turning point in her life. Mrs. Clinton turns 50 this month, but it was taking her daughter to college that caused her to reassess her life and expand her work. On a day her husband was accepting keys to the city, she was unlocking a debate for women in all the Americas.
In too many countries, my own as well, too many rights are still denied and too many doors of opportunity still remain tightly closed.
Mrs. Clinton is said to be thinking about opportunities for herself after the White House and an identity apart from her husband's. For the First Lady, it is perhaps the beginning of the second act. Scott Pelley, CBS News, Buenos Aires.
Famed American author James Mitchell has died. He died in Austin, Texas, after refusing any further kidney dialysis. James Mitchell died at 91. Still to come on the CBS Evening News, an English nanny in America on trial for murder. A new jumbo jet takes flight. New research on how to live longer, and later, how high schoolers are different from adults when it comes to dating and race relations.
limits to our system. Isn't it time you lived without limits?
When you have heartburn, indigestion, and pain, these won't give you complete relief. For your worst symptoms, none of these will give you fast relief. Problems this bad need the 100% solution. Alka-Seltzer, the only one with effervescent power to speed relief, plus the medicines to relieve all your symptoms. Don't settle for some relief. Get the 100% solution, Alka-Seltzer. And for your worst gas pain, try Alka-Seltzer Anti-Gas Liquid Gel Caps.
So, this is where you made that famous 80-yard run, huh?
I guess I told you about that one.
Yeah, once or twice. Hey, come on. You're still in great shape. You stay healthy.
Oh, Coach, good nutrition helps me stay healthy.
As an occasional meal or snack, Ensure is a source of complete balanced nutrition to help you stay healthy, active, energetic.
So, can you run 80 yards like you used to?
Maybe better.
Ensure, the #1 doctor-recommended supplement. Drink to your health.
New charges tonight against 2 of the Pearl, Mississippi teenagers allegedly involved in a murder conspiracy. A new indictment now accuses alleged satanic cult leader Grant Boyett and his lieutenant Justin Sledge of being accessories in the shooting deaths of 2 high school classmates. If convicted, they could get life in prison. Federal agents swooped in today and broke up a theft ring specializing in stolen U.S. military arms and ammunition, including heavy caliber machine guns. The suspects include several men in U.S. military service. CBS's Jim Stewart is on the case.
Federal agents first caught wind of the arms theft scheme while monitoring several gun shows and overheard talk that a large amount of military weaponry had suddenly become available. It wasn't just run-of-the-mill munitions, but included several of the Army's heaviest 50 caliber machine guns, other automatic weapons, and M16 rifles, the workhorse weaponry of Operation Desert Storm. And, says the ATF's Mark Logan, the inventory continues to grow.
Munitions such as M79 grenade launcher, Chinese manufactured semi-automatic version of AK-47 that's been converted to a full automatic machine gun.
Following an undercover investigation, agents arrested 6 members of the Marine Corps, most stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and at least 1 at his home outside Boston earlier today.
We located a number of boxes, crates with military markings that are typical, typically store munitions and ammunition. So we're very cautiously opening those boxes and searching the contents.
Also charged were 7 civilians in North Carolina, including several surplus weapons dealers.
In addition to the arrest, there were 5 search warrants executed today in North Carolina with regard to this investigation.
The Pentagon has long acknowledged that it has a security problem at many National Guard armories where parts thefts have occurred, but this would appear to be the largest in recent memory from an active duty base. Investigators say there doesn't appear to be any militia connection to this case. The motive appears to have been profit alone. One thing that is puzzling them, however, is how so much heavy weaponry was carted off a military base to begin with. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
The sole survivor of the Paris car crash that killed Princess Diana is taking legal action. Trevor Rees-Jones reportedly has become what's called a civil party to the investigation, which means he could be entitled to a share of any damages awarded. And the police may no longer question him unless his lawyer is present. In Turkey, a woman driver was nearly swept away when floodwaters surrounded her car. She couldn't get out of the car because it was on its side. Would-be rescuers were unable to help and the car began to tumble downriver. But luckily, it slammed into a tree, freeing a door and allowing the woman to escape. At the Vatican today, Pope John Paul marked the start of his 20th year in the papacy at a ceremony with 12,000 pilgrims from his native Poland.
Body repair and rebuild cartilage. Repair, rebuild, renew.
This Halloween he's coming with something they never expected.
Cookies!
Simply roll out Pillsbury sugar cookies, cut, bake, then create your own deliciously spooky cookies.
Boo! Woo! Woo-hoo!
Guilty pleasures are now good, including the steak dinner once taboo. A food revolution is going on. Are you part of it? Plus your latest weather.
That's tomorrow.
On This Morning.
In Cambridge, Massachusetts, the prosecution rested today in a criminal trial being watched closely on 2 continents. A British nanny is charged with the murder of a baby. CBS News law correspondent Kristen Jeanette Myers has more about this case, which has raised questions about the appropriateness of leaving a young child in the full-time care of a teenager. Kristen?
Dan, the question for the jury is, what happened one afternoon last February? Was baby Matthew Eapen shaken and slammed into a deadly coma by his nanny, or did the baby succumb to a previously unnoticed medical condition? Sonny Eapen rushed to the hospital after hearing his 9-month-old had stopped breathing.
The first thing I saw was Matthew lying there, and the EMTs were breathing for him. I was just sort of praying as hard as I could that everything would be okay.
The baby's skull had been fractured, split 2.5 inches in the back of his head. It was the Eapen's nanny, Louise Woodward, who first called for help. The brain-damaged baby was in a coma for 5 days. Deborah Eapen told jurors how her son was then taken off life support.
We were holding Matthew. And we prayed. And Maddie died.
Woodward quickly became the focus of the investigation. Prosecutors say Woodward was a frustrated, resentful teenager who violently shook the baby and threw him against a hard surface because he was crying too much. The defense denies Woodward harmed the baby. Susan Woodward is Louise's mother.
Louise is too gentle a person, too kind a person. You'd have to know Louise to know how sweet-natured she is.
The defense counters Matthew may have suffered an earlier head injury that got worse and ultimately caused his death. And this case has caused many outside the courtroom to wonder whether the parents aren't in part to blame for leaving their 9-month-old with a teenager, and whether that may affect the jury's decision. Dan?
Kristen, thanks. In Everett, Washington today, the flying debut of the biggest jumbo jet ever. You're looking at the Boeing 777-300, the longest commercial jetliner ever built at 242 feet 4 inches. It holds up to 550 passengers.
It looks like our house.
But it doesn't smell like our house.
That looks like our mom, but...
She's baking!
Too busy to bake? Perfect. Try Pillsbury's new one-step cookie. Just pop it in the oven. It even comes in its own pan. Next thing you know, you're eating a big, hot, fresh cookie.
You know what this means?
Yeah, our mom bakes.
Kinda scary, huh?
It feels strong and dependable, but also exhilarating and unexpectedly fresh. Fix It and Fresh. A stronger, longer hold. Combined with a crisp, cool sensation. Dependable, yet refreshing. One great combination. Fix It and Fresh, and forget it.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both have fiber for regularity. But I like Fibercon better.
Same natural action of fiber, but only Fibercon contains calcium.
And with Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets.
Fibercon, fiber and calcium in a convenient caplet.
When painful gas makes me feel like this, I take a little pill that looks like this.
Gas X Soft Gels. As much gas medicine as this much Mylanta. Concentrated for fast relief. Try extra strength Gas X Soft Gels.
So? We have to let more folks know about us.
Dad, we need a new location.
Every bed has a place. Now check this out.
Dad,
there's a space. See? This is our new location.
This is the internet.
Whoa.
475 people visited our gallery on our website last night.
I told you, location is everything.
Experience the art of doing business on the internet with the most powerful network in the world.
A wildfire out of control. Can these heroes save this town?
Here it comes.
In the Line of Fire. Real life drama. 48 hours tonight.
Tomorrow's issue of the journal Science focuses on all the latest lines of research on aging. Among them, a surprise finding that a gene connected to Alzheimer's disease may also play a role in long life. Even so, researchers say their studies should focus less on genes and more on hormones and lifestyle. In particular, the hormone DHEA, which gets much lower in older people. As for living longer now, the researchers say regular exercise really works. As for living better, researchers gathered in New York today are focusing on herbal medicines. One that's getting particular attention these days is called St. John's wort. It has millions of users overseas and growing numbers in this country. People who consider it a sort of natural Prozac from plants. Is it really an antidepressant or just another garden variety fad? CBS's John Roberts has been looking into this.
I would find myself sitting at my kitchen table at the end of the day wanting to cry and didn't know why.
Then last June, Karen Gray began using St. John's wort, what some people call the herbal Prozac.
I haven't felt like crying in several months.
St. John's wort, or Hypericum, has been used in Europe for centuries. This yellow-flowered plant seems to cure the blues, but no one's sure why. So the government is investing $4 million to find out.
What we really want to know is, does it really work? Is it as good as standard treatments?
In just a year, St. John's wort has gone from an almost unknown herb in this country to racking up $25 million in sales.
If there's this level of public use, then really I think it would be irresponsible to not actually look and see if this treatment is effective and also is it safe.
Because it's sold as a nutritional supplement, St. John's wort is not regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, which has led to some concerns. For example, dosing. This brand of St. John's wort recommends one 125 milligram capsule every day. This brand recommends one 300 milligram capsule, more than twice as much.
And there are other unknowns.
Even if something has a natural source, if it's potent enough to have a benefit, it is also potent enough to do harm.
But there is good evidence from European studies that it is safe and effective. Karen Gray says she's proof.
When I wake up in the morning, I may still not want to get out of bed, but it's because the bed feels good, not because I don't want to face the day.
It's hoped this new study will provide clear answers as to why Karen Gray and many others feel so much better. John Roberts, CBS News, New York.
A high-tech fertility first in this country. This is news about fertility. It's a little complicated, but followed through. A woman in Georgia has given birth to twins after being implanted with donated eggs that had been frozen. What's new is that up to now, U.S. doctors had succeeded only with frozen embryos, eggs that had been already fertilized and then frozen. In this case, the eggs alone were frozen. Among the major implications of this, women with cancer could freeze some of their own eggs before they have chemotherapy. Up next on CBS, interracial dating in the high school class of 2000.
AT&T presents the class of 2000.
We were on vacation.
Oh, your sunglasses!
When we realized we were sitting on a gold mine.
Rubber sunglasses.
Too bad none of the stores saw it that way.
So, any more bright ideas?
Actually, yes.
I can see clear.
Our own website. And before we knew it, we were selling shades to everyone under the sun.
Open a storefront on the internet with the most powerful network in the world.
I guess I've been bringing the office home with me. Because lately I've had some pain at night, and I just couldn't get to sleep. And then I'd worry about taking something. I mean, I'm at work pretty early, How would I feel? But then I tried Tylenol PM. That's something I can trust. Well, the Tylenol PM stopped my pain. It helped me sleep. Next morning, I'm up and out and ready for my day. Nothing like a good night's sleep.
Rest easy. It's Tylenol PM.
Hey, Grandma!
Come on in. Anybody home?
Sometimes the best reunions happen by chance.
We were hungry.
Now you can always be ready with new Color Lock storage bags from Ziploc. New Ziploc bags have a special Color Lock seal, the only color seal you can see and feel. So what goes in Color Lock today comes out Ziploc fresh tomorrow.
Great meal, Mom.
You got something I could take this home in? I think I could find something.
New Ziploc brand Color Lock bags. Ziploc was made for tomorrow.
Mom, there's something wrong with the dog.
Ranger?
No, my hot dog. It's just laying on the bun.
That dog needs a new trick.
Beat the cold bun blues with Pillsbury Crescent dogs. Just wrap them and bake them for a hot, fresh meal in minutes.
Mom, aren't these dogs fun?
Good dog.
And for more doggone good fun with less fat, try Pillsbury Reduced Fat Crescents.
There's new reason to hope that race relations in this country may improve in the years ahead. In a CBS News poll out tonight, more than half of high school sophomores see race relations as good, and 1 in 4 expects them to get better. CBS News correspondent Sandra Hughes takes a closer look now at attitudes about race in the class of 2000.
Win and lose with your hearts. You just gotta take it as it comes.
Ready?
Defense!
Whether they're hustling for the junior varsity,
Horns up! Hit!
or stepping off with the marching band. At East Lake High School in Chula Vista, California, the racially diverse student body strives for perfect harmony.
I don't think that when they look at people that they see a difference in color of skin, nor do they listen and hear a different language being expressed.
What they see and hear are classmates from every ethnic background.
It's like, who cares? I mean, you don't like the person because they're black. You like them because of who they are.
Adriana's views are shared nationwide. A recent CBS News poll shows teens are more optimistic than adults about race relations. While a majority of adults say race relations are bad, 62% of the class of 2000 say race relations are good. East Lake's principal believes when it comes to this subject, adults can learn plenty from the class of 2000.
I think this particular class is going to bring to us a new approach for how we can learn to work together and live together.
Teens' views on race relations can also be measured by what they would do personally. And our CBS News Class of 2000 poll finds that 3/4 of them say they would date someone of another race. Tino Chavez is an ethnic blend, Mexican-American and Native American. So is his former girlfriend, Sarah.
She's white and black mixed. I think it was a really good experience because when you go out with someone with a different race, there's always something to learn.
Have you ever dated someone from a different race?
No.
Would you?
Date, yeah, because it's just not a serious thing, and it's just mostly it's just for friendships and for right now.
But as for the future, these members of the class of 2000 are more traditional. They see plenty of reasons to marry someone of their own race. For Gerard, it's to preserve his African-American heritage. For Adriana, it's religion.
Because that's really difficult if like a Catholic marries a Jewish person, because then you're trying to decide on which religion should your child be.
But for most of the class of 2000, such weighty decisions are a long way off. Their optimism about race relations may fade with the future. But for now, dating and making friends with kids of different races provides a valuable lesson. For the class of 2000, Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Chula Vista, California.
And that's part of our world tonight. 48 Hours is on CBS later tonight, and Susan Spencer has a preview.
There are 1,500 active volcanoes in the world. This is like a blast furnace. Imagine living and working on one.
You can see the lava advancing.
One that's erupting.
What is that? Nasty stuff.
What is he doing?
I'm just fishing for lava.
In the line of fire.
Looks like I gotta go down about 3 or 4 meters.
Real life drama. Later tonight on 48 Hours.
48 Hours tonight at 10, 9 Central Time. Till then, Dan Rather reporting for the CBS Evening News. I'll see you again soon in the hour just before your late local news on 48 Hours.
CBS News.
Just because they're getting on doesn't mean they can't take it all off.
I am going to go out kicking and screaming all the way.
I can't believe you do that at your age. On the next Salad.
Tomorrow at 4 on KYW3.
They say crime writer Patricia Cornwell turned their children's death into a bestseller.
Cornwell says it's not true, but these parents won't buy it. And a dog that talks? Watch Inside Edition tomorrow at 5 on KYW3.
Monday, work was so awful. I bought myself a dress at Marshall's.
It's time to treat yourself today. The latest career and casual fashions are here right now.
Thursday, the pipes burst, so I got a few pairs of shoes.
Brand name shoes, too. Hurry in, it's all here. Cozy jackets and coats, colorful sweaters, stylish accessories, too. At Marshall's, it's always 20 to 60% less than department stores.
The worse things get, the better I look.
Marshall's, brand names for less.
Every day.
Caught in the jaws of an alligator, how did he survive? Next American Journal.
This is Entertainment Tonight. The